What do you think about the 6% increase in textbooks?
I think that it could not have come at a worse time. When people are getting ready to go back to school and you think that, okay, the book prices are at a particular stage, and then when you wake up to the news that the books are 6% more expensive, I think it's a wicked thing that the government has done for all those poor mothers, single parents, who are trying to send their children back to school, and then to wake up to a 6% increase. Come on. I'm sure that they could have found other things to tax. What about the misappropriations that are happening in other places? Why not take those misappropriations and direct them somewhere else?
6% was somewhat expected because of what the people who are importing textbooks are getting them printed are telling you, that there's an increase in cost in regard to paper, and therefore that is transferred to them. So when they do their importations, they'll have to put the markup in their prices. You know, for me, it wasn't actually a surprise, it was expected. It just came a little bit too near to when school would have been reopened, and a lot of parents probably would have budgeted based on what the cost incurred was for last year in order to have an idea of what it is they'll be expected to spend for purchases this year.
The increase with regards to textbook, I do think it's a bit challenging for parents. Why? We have not had increase in our salary or in our wages for the last 2 or maybe 3 years. And budgetary constraints, yes, it is a bit depressing to us. Because certain things you have to put on hold if you really deem education as your priority. You have to put certain things on hold. That you really need those things, you know, but since we put education first, we have to, as I've already said, we have to put those on hold and to go along with educational needs and supplies.
Economically, it is very hard because I have 3 kids. I have a high schooler and middle school and kindergarten, and it's really expensive. I've been shopping from July, just shopping around to get the best price I can, but it's really hard, really hard.
What has been your school shopping experience so far?
Some of the things, last year this time I was ready for school myself and for my children. This year I have to make sure the children are ready and I stay behind.
Get a food from friends, I get some discounted prices, but it's really hectic because I'm coming from Ligani this morning to here and I don't know where else I might end up just to get what I need and the best possible price. Last year it was a little bit better in terms of the prices. This year it has skyrocketed and I don't know what next year will bring, but I know it's gonna go.
Well, it has not been bad. I have gotten mine basically out of the way from, well, the 6% didn't catch me because I was early this year, but it's still expensive. I have a 5-year-old and her book list took me up to $12,800 for a 5-year-old who's going into grade 1. So I can just imagine those parents who have children who are 15, 16 going into 4th and 5th forms.
The increases are not just in regard to literature, but on everything else. I mean, bags cost more, pencils cost more, erasers, and every other little thing that has to do with paraphernalia for school. Everything has
From the highs and lows.
The highs for the literature book, they're repeated, so I can keep those or pass them on to somebody. But the lows are that most of the books you have to write in them, so they can't be repeated. So I have to be buying books over and over, and I know the cost is going to go up each year for back to school.
Honestly, I've not done any shopping for myself, but for I only have one son now going to school, and for him I've pre-shopped from June, so the 6% did not catch me. But the one at the tertiary level, I know it's gonna catch me, and now I'm shopping for my nieces, and the 6% has already caught them.
I think Jamaica encourages a late back to school shopping attitude, because I wanted to get shoes for my daughter. When I came, I think it was in early August, couldn't find anything. The stock that they had was basically the ones from last year, which you know, by the way, is dry rotten. So you wouldn't want those. So you have to wait until they come out with the other stock, which is late. But it hasn't been too bad. I've gotten everything so far.